Hi, I'm Carmen White, and today I'm happy to introduce my fellow 4 H members. I've been in 4 H for 9 years, and I'm a key member for the Willow Creek District, as well as a member of the Wild and Woolly 4 H Club and Claresholm 4 H Beef Club. Public speaking is one of the most challenging and rewarding experiences for us members, and we hope you enjoyed today's presentations. Emily Spexdy is going into her 9th year of 4 H in the Arrowwood 4 H Beef Club, doing market beef and multiple breeding animal projects. Her favorite part of 4 H is public speaking, and during the pandemic, she has been reading lots of books. Annalise Spexdy, Real People Wear Carhartts, Real People Wear Carhartts, Annalise Spexdy.
There is a quote I love by Thomas Jefferson. He said, and I quote, "Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will, in the end, contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness." End quote. This is as true today as it was then. The real heroes are the farmers who are feeding our planet. Sadly, today, these heroes need to do more than feed the world. They need to defend their practice. Mr. Chairperson, honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow 4-H members. Modern agriculture has come a very long way. In 1930, one American farmer could feed 4 people. Today, after 90 years of improvements, this number is 40 times higher. This was made possible because of the innovative tools farmers have and are using to dramatically increase productivity. This increase has come not a moment too soon. In the year 1800, we had 1 billion people on the earth. 127 years later, our population had risen to 2 billion in 1927. By 1960, we had 3 billion people. Since then, at least 1 billion more people have been added to the world's total every 12 to 14 years. Continuing on this track, experts predict that by the year 2050, our population will reach 9.6 billion. That is a lot of mouths to feed. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that agriculture production needs to increase by 60% to meet the increased food demand. It's going to be a lot of work feeding our fast-growing population. Farmers also need to protect against misinformation that attacks the credibility of our industry. Today, with social media platforms, misinformation about farming takes no time to spread. This misinformation seems to take on a life of its own. Now, more than ever before, farmers seem to be under attack, portrayed as environmental polluters, animal abusers, and worst of all, poisoning our fellow man for profit. As I was researching to write this speech, I was very disappointed to see that when I Googled anything relating to agriculture, the first articles to pop up were negative. When I searched for reasons why GMOs are important, almost all of the articles were saying why we need to move away from GMOs. If I searched anything about beef production, I was given articles on why Beyond Beef is the healthier option. There are very vocal elements of the population who are speaking out against farms and farming practices. It's easy to criticize farmers and what they do when you have never had the experience of working or living on a farm. We need to empower strong advocacy groups that get accurate and true information out to communities outside of our own. We need to share how innovations in crop varieties and advances in crop protection have changed the face of agriculture. The use of minimum tillage and other management practices have made farming more sustainable by reducing the use of fuel, reducing soil erosion, and conserving water, while also increasing the biodiversity of beneficial organisms. We are now developing digital technologies and data management capabilities, and we can use highly customized prescription treatment to fertilize and manage weeds, pests, and disease. All of this equates to a lower environmental impact and more food from each acre. One of the popular misconceptions circulating through the public revolves around genetically modified crops. Dr. Stephen Lewandowski at the University of Bristol in the UK says, quote, "Beware of a person's worldview. For example, understand that those opposed to GMOs have natural, environmental, and purity goals. You cannot attack those values. Instead, you have to deal with the science behind GMO." End quote. This means we need to do more than just argue the myths. We need to explain why the information is false and back it up with facts. And the fact is, without modern inventions such as genetically modified crops, we cannot produce enough food to feed the growing population. An article published in the New York Times in 2016 claimed that GMO crops do not produce yield increases, and therefore there is no advantage, and we should stop growing them. But the truth is that genetic modifications increase corn yields by up to 25%. This can be said for other GMO crops as well. GMOs work together with other advancements to double or triple production. Education is key in reducing the stigma around GMOs, as well as other farming practices. When my dad was my age, in a good year, 100 acres of farmland produced enough wheat for 100,000 loaves of bread. Today, that same amount of land grows 300,000 loaves of daily bread. If we were to stop modern-day farming practices and live with reduced production, who would get to decide who doesn't eat? We need to learn how to work together and not against each other. Unfortunately, these are only a few of the damaging misconceptions out there, and there are many more to disprove. And that is why we need to speak up. Agriculture is the most important industry in the world. It surrounds every aspect of our day-to-day life. Farmers work hard every day to keep food on our table. As a society, we need to protect farming and work together to continue to produce the food we need to satisfy a growing population. Farmers are not the enemy, but they are being treated like it. The fight against farmers needs to stop, and we need to continue to advocate for our industry and the heroes and Carhartts who feed the world.
Ellie Wolf has been in 4-H for 5 years and has enjoyed doing sheep and horse projects. This year, Ellie is the treasurer of the 9 Mile 4-H Club. Her favorite part of 4-H is doing the show and sale every year, and amidst the pandemic, she has taken up hiking and some extra chores. Ellie Wolf, ready, set, show, Ellie Wolf.
6 days, countless hours of preparation, sweat, dirt, late nights, pressure, competition, interviews. Ready, set, show. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Summer Synergy, a program partnered with 4-H Alberta, Olds College, Olds Regional Exhibition, and the Calgary Stampede. Kids and families haul their livestock, both bovine and ovine, for 6 days of competition at Olds Regional Exhibition. Last year was the first year I attended this event. This is such a valuable program within 4-H, and I want to share with you what I learned, why I think it's a valuable program, and hopefully what can help you to get ready, set, and show at Summer Synergy. Get ready and registered. There are so many options. There's livestock classes, art contests, marketing projects for setting sales, and a photography contest. A few things I would highly recommend and learned. 1. Review the Summer Synergy website. In hindsight, the grading criteria and results for each competition would be the most helpful to review. 2. Make sure you register with the 4-H Alberta Provincial Beef or Sheep Show. 3. Book a camping spot early, but don't stress if you don't get in. There's plenty of grassy spots on the exhibition grounds. And 4. The most helpful tips and tricks were from friends who had gone before. So if all else fails, ask lots of questions. Get ready and practice. All of the classes at Summer Synergy have skills that can be honed in on at home and by participating in other 4-H offered events. I cannot tell you how much participating in club activities like club judging, district shows, and regional activities like consumer decision making have helped me practice these skills. I also tried to work extra hard on the skills I know I'm weak at, like judging. I even tried practicing showing cattle. I'm headed into this 4-H year, and I'm taking all offered practice seriously. With that being said, there are participants that go for the social aspect. That's important too. We all need to remember to do your best, practice, don't stress, and enjoy the experience. Get ready and pack. Step 1, make a list. Step 2, make sure everything on your list makes it in the trailer. Or you can have an amazing grandparent who will make a quick jaunt up to Olds with the items you forgot on your list. What I learned: you can never pack too much, like extra halters and blankets. Pack water and feed for your animal. I saw firsthand other lambs in the barn get sick from dehydration and feed changes. And pack extra clothes. I'm sure I got a deduction in some of my classes for smelling worse than the barn. I'm just kidding, but make sure you look at the standard dress in all of your classes. You are ready. Get set up. Do not underestimate how important getting set up is. You'll spend the next 3 days in that barn running from event to event. Take as much animal and show supplies to the barn, and make sure you include things like lawn chairs, snacks, and at least an extra shirt so your good clothes don't get dirty. You've done pretty much all you can, but there's still one more thing. Set the tone. Summer Synergy does a great job of doing this. The schedule is busy and serious, but it is in such a fun, positive environment. My advice is take the whole experience in. If you have downtime, go to the other barns and check things out. Go to the dinners, banquets, and shows. It's busy, but it adds so much more to the experience. The moment is here. Show your skills. The Summer Synergy Scholarship Competition comprises of 5 areas. Judging. Last year we judged a variety of livestock, combined with all the sheep and beef participants. 2. Marketing. You are given a topic, situation, and deadline. You then need to put together a marketing proposal and pitch it to a panel of judges. Trimming. Then load the most disgusting sheep straight out of the feedlot, and you are given 1 hour to make them look show ready. Team show judging. Your team is randomly selected, and you need to accomplish 2 things: ring skills and placing a class with oral reasonings. And showmanship. A fun bonus to this class is that if you place top 2 in your age category, you get to move on to a Master Showman class, where you show 3 different types of livestock. The results are then compiled together for an aggregate score. You will be exhausted, or at least I was. At the end of the day, we gather for the Parade of Champions, results, and the announcements of the scholarship recipients. Scholarships range from $500 to $3,000. All are funded through the Calgary Stampede Foundation. If you are fortunate enough to have your name announced or had a champion animal, the show goes on. The Calgary Stampede experience is surreal. There's breakfast, interviews, and a tiny bit of time to take in all the sights, like animal barns, midway, rodeo, and chuck wagons. There's a dinner, closing ceremonies. We are then announced on the Calgary Stampede Grandstand as the 2019 scholarship recipients. Through each of my slides, I've hopefully taken you through the physical experience of Summer Synergy and some of the tips and tricks I've learned. Like, you can never practice too much. When it comes to livestock, always be overpacked. Time management is critical. Watch and listen to the people who have been through the experience before. They have so many helpful things to say. People may assume my positive experience with Summer Synergy was because I was fortunate enough to be selected as a scholarship recipient. But the thing that had the most impact and changed me the most was my personal growth I gained by being a participant in this entire event. What makes this such a valuable program is that it essentially amalgamates all the skills we work on throughout our 4-H year. It requires us to get ready through practice, preparations, and to be organized. It gives us the opportunity to step up and be accountable. It creates a venue for us to exercise our value system of learn to do by doing and our 4-H pledge. That is what makes this such a valuable program. People ask me all the time if I'm going again, and the answer is yes. And I hope you can too, so this event can push us to learn and value the skills it takes to get ready, set, and show at Summer Synergy.
Nev Umshide has been in 4-H for 2 years and enjoys the pheasant project in the Champion 4-H Multi-Club. Her favorite part of 4-H so far has been writing her speeches, and to stay busy during the pandemic, she has enjoyed sledding and playing with her sisters. Nev Umshide, I've asked you a million times, I've asked you a million times, Nev Umshide.
Sometimes I question my parents' mathematical skills. The other day my mom said, I've asked you a million times to clean your room. A million is a lot, but just how big is it? Did she really ask me a million times? I better think about it before I actually question her. I find numbers fascinating in so many ways. They can teach you so much, and they can help you further in life. By the end of my speech, I hope you love thinking about big numbers as much as I do. Let's get your brain warmed up with some smaller number facts. If you connected each blood vessel in your body together, their length would lap the earth 2 times. That would add up to 61,000 miles. Kids have an average of 20 teeth. If they spend 2 minutes brushing their teeth, not like I do, they would spend 6 seconds on each tooth. Sharks have 50,000 teeth. If they also spend 6 seconds brushing each tooth, they would have spent 83 hours brushing. They totally would be shining white. Good thing they don't eat sugar, because there could be millions of cavities in 50,000 teeth. 1 million is a lot, but not many people realize how big it is, so let me tell you. Back when I was 6 or 7, I longed to win the lottery. When I realized that I had a 1 in 14 million chance of winning, I tossed that dream in the trash. So now my new dream is to become a millionaire without having to win the lottery. I decided I was going to be rich off of collecting my allowance. I get $4 a week for cleaning my room every Sunday. That would mean I would have $1 million when I am 4,807 years old. Dang, only if I was immortal. Remember a couple years ago when it was -40? Well, I bet you said something like, I wish I was on the sun right now, or I wish the sun was right next to me. If you laid on the sun, you would want to come right back home. The sun is plus 15 million degrees Celsius. Trust me, you do not want to lay on the sun. You think 1 million is a lot? Well, let me tell you about 1 billion. Here's some fun food facts to teach you about 1 billion. I'm almost positive that everyone has eaten at McDonald's, and you have probably had their fries, so you might be interested in these facts. McDonald's sells 9 million pounds of fries a day. That is equivalent to 3.3 billion pounds a year. That weighs the same as 8,250 blue whales. I'm not sure if we need to supersize our fries anymore. If I had $1 billion, I would want to treat all the kids in Canada to ice cream. If there are 5 million kids in Canada, I would have enough money to buy each kid a cone with 80 scoops of ice cream. Sounds like we're going to need 1 trillion napkins for this. 1 trillion is a number we don't use or hear very often. If you own an Apple product, you have contributed to Apple's $1.3 trillion valuation. Did you order any Christmas presents off Amazon? Well, then again, you ordered from $1 trillion company. I think it's fascinating that numbers are infinite, which means they go on forever. Sometimes that can make numbers hard to understand. One of the largest numbers in the world is called Google. It's a number that has 100 zeros after it. Think that's big? Listen to this. The biggest named number is called a Googleplex. It has Google zeros after it. It is so big that scientists haven't even found a meaningful use for it yet. It is bigger than the number of atoms in the universe. So, due to my interest in numbers, I've done some personal research. I've discovered that it is highly doubtful that my mom has actually asked me 1 million times to clean my room. It would take 11 days, 13 hours, and 46 minutes for her to actually ask me 1 million times. Seems unlikely, doesn't it? But I don't want to argue, because I risk the chance of being infinitely grounded.